Okay, everybody. So now we're live on all of our platforms, and there we go. I appreciate you all being here. It's a happy Friday. It's always a good day when it's a Friday. It's a good day. So we made it, and here we go. I appreciate you all being here. I really do. So I'm Bishop James Long, and for those of you who would like to, I did there, Jason. For those of you who don't know. Well, thank you very much. For those of you who don't know, you can go to my website at bishopjameslong.com. That's the website, bishopjameslong, Long.com. And you can learn a little bit more about who I am. And then, of course, you can also go to the church's website at usocc.org. So that's the church's website. Now, I want to remind everybody that if you love the paranormal like I do, then you need to definitely go to this website, kgradb.com. Again, it's KGRAD as in dog, B as in boy.com. Of course, they sponsor the shows, and make sure that if you're going to go there and you're going to subscribe, they have great shows there, really terrific shows. But make sure you put Bishop as your promo code because you're going to get 30% off. So definitely take care of that. And again, it's already affordable as it is, but if you're going to get 30%, then get 30%. You know, anytime you can get the 30% off any type of discount, then definitely do it. So again, well, thank you for KGRADB, D as in dog, B as in boy.com, and make sure you put Bishop as your promo code. And there we go. You're going to get your subscription for 30%. So that's the website. That's the folks who sponsor the show. For those of you who are new here, we mention that every single Friday and pretty much everywhere else. So okay. Already the trolls are out already, folks. Trolls, let me just say something to you. You're not going to get my attention. I will completely ignore you. So the trolls are on TikTok. I haven't even started yet. So trolls, I'm not going to pay attention to you. You're not going to get me upset. I don't play these middle school games, these elementary school games. I'm just going to ignore you. Plain and simple. I will completely ignore you. So go do something else on a Friday night instead of harassing clergy. I mean, seriously, it's pretty sad. On a Friday night, you have nothing else better to do than to harass clergy. That's sad. That's really sad. So anyway, I'm just going to give you a heads up. I won't even pay attention. Not paying attention. Sorry. Okay. So there we are. It's sad that you have to do that, but you can't. The people are so negative that they have such joy. They bring that's sick. That's sadistic. Actually, that is sadism. That's what sadism is. So sadism is when you enjoy inflicting pain on other people, whether it be physical or emotional or verbal. That's sadistic. That's the very definition of sadistic. And people who enjoy inflicting pain on individuals, I think they really need some help. TikTok is full of trolls. They're really bad, but there's also some really great people that are on TikTok too. So you just have to funnel the nonsense out with it. Yeah, it's a part of the thing. You know what I mean? Stop lying to people. Okay, so again, what have I said about lying? I said there's trolls on TikTok. See, that's what I'm saying. Oh boy. Okay, you know what? You Amber, you really need to go away. Block. See, I can do that too. Simple. Okay. Oh, some people. I tell you what. Today we're going to have a good presentation and looking forward to it as well. And hopefully you are too. Yeah, no more. Yeah, pray for the trolls. People are just going to be like I said. People are just going to be hateful. Today is Paranormal Fridays, where finally we talk everything related to the paranormal, everything that's related to the paranormal. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Is Shannon Long 30? Is she in the chat room? Because I don't see her in the TikTok. Well, hello there. Iceland is on TikTok, but that's pretty cool. See, that's one thing I love about TikTok is that people are all around the world, which is so cool. No. All right. So yeah, it's very, very cool that people from all around the world, it's just really neat. So you're in the UK. Well, you guys are getting ready for the big coronation. Okay, just Ray and yourself. Okay. Yeah, you're getting ready for the a big coronation. That's exciting. I don't know. There's a lot of people who are not really who are not really big fans of King Charles now. So there's a lot there, isn't it? There's some people are really big fans and some people are not. But it's one of those things, and um, I guess some people are like, oh yeah, we're really excited about it, and I'm like, well, okay, that's great, go for it, Okay, I am sending a quick message. Hold on, not that. Bear with me, everybody. All right, just sending a message. There, good. Oh yeah. Queen Elizabeth, Miss Wilma. Okay, so Miss Wilma's still sick, and she's struggling. She is, but she still has pneumonia, although her top of the lungs have been cleared, which is good, which is really great. And but her bottom, the lungs, it's sad. She's still struggling. She's still struggling. So thank you for asking about her. I appreciate that. That's very, very nice of you. Well, I don't play around with demons. I actually stupid. Why play around with demons? I don't play. There's no playing around with demons. This is a ministry, and so there's no. How do you? My Jewish people? Well, matter of fact, normally I wear a lapel pin, and it's the American flag and the Jewish flag. Today, by the way, we're going to talk about haunted objects. So a lot of people, well, thank you very much. That's very nice. A lot of people like to collect haunted items. This is a very, very dangerous situation. So folks, what we're going to do is, because I don't know where the moderators are, comments are going off on TikTok. And because I can't, we can't, it's very distracting right now. And I'll turn the comments back on TikTok at 8:00 at the top of the hour, but I'm not going to, no. So anyway, today we're going to talk about a topic that I really enjoy talking about because it's necessary. And that topic is haunted objects. A lot of people collect haunted items. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't know where the moderators are, so I'm going to fix this. But anyway, we don't know why people there's just such an obsession with these haunted items. And a lot of people spend big bucks. I mean, really a lot of money on haunted items too. And it is concerning. And not only that, but people are going on eBay and selling these alleged haunted items. And then people are buying them because they just want to collect them because I guess maybe there's an interest in it. And then when they bring it home and then literally, I mean, all hell breaks loose in the house. So folks, I just please stay away. No, we're not doing aliens right now. Stay away, everybody. Stay away from haunted items. Stay away from haunted items. Haunted items are not good. They are dangerous. They are something that should be avoided because you don't know what you're bringing home. People are confused about attachment. Okay, demonic entities, first of all, do not possess objects. There's no possession of objects. They attach themselves to an object, and then through ordinary demonic activity can entice you to want to buy that item. So, like, for example, if you go to a location and you see something and you're like, man, I got to get it. I've got to get this thing. I got to have it. Well, that temptation becomes almost an obsession. And then you find yourself buying this item and you bring it home and really some major activity occurs. and it's dangerous. And yeah, Hetty, we are praying for you every night at night prayer as well. Yeah, by the way, we have night prayer at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like, we would love to have you join us. Just go to bishopjameslong.com and scroll down to the very bottom where it says night prayer. And there you go. You are set. And it's at 10 p.m. Eastern. But we have, we start music around 9:45, just relaxing music. So, and thank you very much. For those of you who are liking the video on TikTok, thank you. And I'm sorry I had to turn the comments off, but the trolls it was just out of control, out of control. So just turn the comments off. Simple. Actually, what I could do, bear with me, everybody. Bear with me, please. Bear with me. I'm going to fix this problem right now because it's not fair to subscribers and it's not fair to everybody else, but I have to, because it's just, when the trolls just get so disruptive. So what I'm doing is I just put a sub only. So if you're a subscriber on TikTok, only sub only can chat right now. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll see how things go, and I'll open it up, possibility for everybody else. All right. Haunted items. The subject of this tonight is very important, or haunted or cursed objects. That they are all around the world, and they are terrible, and it is very, very dangerous. Do me a favor, for those of you. Yeah. Hold on. I just opened TikTok. Do me a favor, if you are on TikTok, I have a friend, and his name is Bishop Gregory. And he's having some issues with medicine. He has asked recently if, we don't get paid as clergy. And he's asked assistance for those people who can help. So if you're able to help with it, instead of offering gifts to this ministry here tonight, let me see if I know he's on. Or I thought he was. It looks like he's not. I don't see him yet. But when he does come on, I will let you know where it is. And then if you could send him the gifts, he really needs assistance with some medicine that he's trying to get. And so, we got to help each other. We have to help each other. And so I'll get you his information in just a second, because he needs there's 300. He's asking for $300, only because, people are struggling. And it breaks my heart to see that, a fellow clergy member is and we all struggling. I get it. But, when you need medicines, that's not something, you're not asking someone to pay for a Netflix subscription. Here it is. Okay. So if you can help Bishop Gregory, he said we can use some help toward medical expenses. They need roughly around $300 for medication. If you can help, you can Cash App the $ Bishop Godsey. Bishop Godsey, Godsey. So if you can do that, if you've been blessed and you're able to do that, that would be wonderful. Let me put this in the thing, and I know we'll get to the haunted items in a second. That's not important. This is important. So, someone needing help for medicine. So, TikTok is looping. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. But if you can do that, if you can help out, that would be terrific. That way, we're trying to help out as much as we can. And I'm going to be sending him something as well. So let's see. Hold on one second. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. And what I could do is, I'll just send him a message. Hold on, everybody. Okay. So yeah, Well, yeah, he is. He has some some health issues there, and I believe I think it is diabetes, and God love him. I understand there are some people may disagree with some theological differences, and that's okay. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. But just we have to be kind to one another. Regardless of your faith or your political affiliation, we have to help each other. We do. Um, I don't prosthesis for hip. No, no. So if you can, yeah, yeah. So yeah, a dollar sign Bishop Godsey, Bishop and Godsey at Cash App. Oh, I'm good on TikTok. Excellent. So if you guys can help, thank you for that. I really appreciate if you guys could help him. It breaks my heart to know that that anybody is struggling, and there's a lot of people who are struggling, but he is. Oh, you do, Janelle? Janelle, send me a message on Facebook, will you please? And I can. And yeah, if you would, Janelle, send me a Facebook message, because maybe we can help him that way too, and that would be great. Okay. So thank you for all of you. Thank you for. I'm not for sure which type of diabetes he had. I don't know, but I know he struggled. He has a lot of health issues, and people are just pretty vicious with him. But anyway, okay. Do they have PayPal? You know what, Thomas? If you would send me a message on Facebook. Well, yeah, because Diane, I'm trying to update the website. So if you would send me a message there, Thomas, and ask me if he has PayPal, I can ask him. I'm sure he does. Then I can send you a message. The best way to reach me, everybody, is on Facebook. And I know everybody wants to talk. I know everybody wants to talk paranormal. I get it. I understand. But Bishop Godsey is a good man. And, there are things that I don't agree with him on, and there are things that he doesn't agree with me on, and that's okay. But we're friends. I have friends from all walks of life, all political points of views. And it just breaks my heart when I see somebody who has medical issues and, they go online, they ask for help. We got to help. We got to help. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you. I truly do. And if you guys make whatever donations that you guys make today on TikTok, if you make it directly, I'm going to send those to him. So we're going to try to help. Okay. So now we're going to talk about cursed items. So a cursed item, people get confused about haunted items and how it occurs. Attachments are very simple. It's a very, very simple. If you are the target of a demonic entity, then the demons will know your weaknesses and your strength. And so they will attach themselves to this item, and you will become almost so obsessed that it drives you absolutely insane. And you have to get it. It becomes an obsession. Also, haunted items or haunted locations can be like that too. So if you will become so obsessed with a location that has demonic infestation, I've had people before where they just could not, it overwhelmed them. Bobby Mackey's was one of them. There was an individual who contacted me, said, it's like I have to be there every day. And then when I'm not there, I get angry and I get frustrated and I get mad. That becomes an obsession. And it becomes very dangerous. And that's one way how the demonic will reel you in to cause havoc in your life. So, it's pretty dangerous. And again, thank you for those of you who are subscribing to the channel. I sincerely thank you for that. I truly do. Thank you for subscribing. Okay. So cursed objects are something that does exist, and it does happen. Let's talk about a couple things. And then tonight, I'm going to share. I have some new items that I've never shared with you before. Yeah, it's like an addiction. You all know the story of Annabelle, the cursed doll. So I'm going to talk to you about some famous things, and then I'm going to share some of my items that I've collected through the years, and I'll be sharing that tonight and the stories behind them. Annabelle, for those of you again, I did know Lorraine. I did not know Ed. Lorraine was a friend of mine, and I thought she was a wonderful, wonderful person. I loved Lorraine. She had a huge heart. But I got to tell you something. She did not like Annabelle at all. She truly did not. And thank you again. So for those of you who don't know, Annabelle the doll was originally discovered in an antique shop in 1970 after being purchased as a gift from a mother to her daughter, Donna. Strange things started happening. You see, upon receiving it and bringing it home, she noticed that over time, the doll would appear in other rooms that she had not put it in. And on one account, she actually found it standing on its legs, it's basically, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. Actually, what it is, it doesn't look like the, it doesn't look like the what you see on the Annabelle movie, and the reason is because Raggedy Ann is a trademark, it's copyright. But that's what it is a Raggedy Ann doll. And in addition, little noises started appearing around her apartment randomly with writings on it that read, "Help us." And then even fresh droplets of blood would appear on the doll's dress. So as the unexplained phenomenon increased, the girl came called in some paranormal investigators who found the doll to be, they said, possessed. But again, dolls aren't possessed. Objects are not possessed. Objects have a demonic attachment to it. So anyway, and it says here, the belief was the paranormal investigators thought that the doll had a attachment of a spirit of a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had moved into the doll after she was murdered. Well, I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that theory at all, because there will be no reason for that. There's no purpose for it. And anytime you're dealing with a child spirit, red flags go up for me a million times, a million times. Does the evil spirit stay in a body for years without the person knowing? Yes, because under this, that could be an attachment, and attachments, that process can last for years. Attachments can go, of course, it can lead into oppression, but you can have a demonic attachment, and people immediately think that if you have a demonic attachment, it goes right into possession. No. That demonic attachment can last a very long time. That's why it's dangerous, by the way, when people are playing with Ouija boards and then they start having bad things happen in their life. Bad luck, if you will. Now, that demonic attachment could last for 10, 15 years. And then at the opportune time, that's when the demonic will begin to oppress the individual. And that's where it becomes very dangerous. So let's get back to Annabelle, and then I'll get your folks. I'll get your questions at 8:00. Okay. So let's just, because I want to do the presentation, and then I'll get to your questions. But I appreciate all of you being here. So just hang tight with me for a minute. But anyway, there was a belief that this Annabelle Higgins moved into the doll basically after she was murdered. Upon learning this, the girls agreed that the girl could stay with them. Bad. But things got worse because it was not a little girl, Annabelle Higgins. The doll's activities started getting out of hand, which even included vicious, unexplained attacks and scratch marks on the chest of one of their friends. So the girl finally contacted renowned psychic investigators. Well, it says here on this thing, on this article that I'm reading, psychic investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed was not a psychic. He never claimed to be a psychic. Lorraine did, but not Ed. So anyway, they contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, who determined that the doll was actually possessed by a demon who was trying to possess the girl. Well, again, it's not possession, so that the article is not quite correct, but it is an attachment trying to attack the girl. So the doll was ultimately given to the Warrens, who put it in a glass cabinet. And of course, yep, Tony Spera owns it today. Of course, Ed and Lorraine have both passed on. And so, may they rest in peace. But I tell you this, when I talked to Lorraine several times about the doll, Lorraine hated that doll. She truly did. She hated Annabelle. She didn't want any part of it. She didn't want to be around it. She didn't like it at all. She didn't like it at all. Someone said, focus. Yeah, she didn't. It was one of those things that she wanted to stay far away from Annabelle. Now, there's another doll that's very famous called Robert the Doll. In just a second, I'm going to show you guys some actual haunted items that I own that I've taken from people's homes. So Robert the Doll, and I've seen Robert the Doll. Robert the Doll belonged to Robert Otto and was apparently gifted to him in 1896 by a servant who practiced black magic and carried a dislike for the family. But things started getting weird when people heard the doll talk back to Robert. The doll became active and started appearing in windows when no one was in the house. It would actually vandalize rooms, break objects, and of course, poor Robert got the blame, despite how openly terrified he was on the doll. So anyway, after Robert died, another family bought the house, and upon finding the doll in the attic, a little girl was just as terrified as poor Robert and said that the doll wanted to kill her and do terrible things. Now, the doll is now on display in a museum in Key West. It's still believed to curse people. The legend says that you have to ask its permission to take a photo of the doll, and if you don't, then you're simply cursed. So surrounding the doll are letters of forgiveness from people who have taken photographs without its permission, asking for him to lift the curse. Now, since this is not I'm not taking a picture of the actual doll, but I'm going to take a picture on computer. So Robert the doll, no cursing. This is what the Robert the doll looks like. There's a movie, by the way, called, I think, Robert the doll. So this is actually what Robert actually looks like. There you go. That's what Robert the doll actually. And like I said, I know there's a movie, so. And now I have seen Robert, and Robert is a pretty creepy dude. He's a pretty creepy doll. There's definitely bad mojo there. You can tell there's bad mojo. Let me tell Bishop Greg something. Cancel. No, I don't want to end live. Well, I don't know why I can't. I don't want to end live. I don't know why it's doing this. Anyway, if someone can go in, if somebody knows a Bishop Gregory, he's on live TikTok right now. And if you could do me a favor and just send him a message and let him know that I've made that announcement for people. That way, when he sees an influx, and hopefully he won't be saying, "What in the world is this?" He won't, kind of be thrown off by that. Because we'll get to the paranormal stuff in a second, guys. Just please bear with me. Also, if I do that, it will end the live, so I can't do it. Okay. So if you guys can do this on TikTok, it won't let me do it, because if I end it, if I send him a message, it'll end my live here, and I don't want to do that. So if anybody who is watching, if you could send him a message, let me see which one it's on. Well, it's Bishop Gregory or Bishop Greg, and just let him know that we're going to do that. So, okay. Yeah, I agree. He's more important. And again, for those of you, if you can help, please send Bishop Gregory, some funds. They do need some money for medical expenses, and it's $, and it's a Cash App right now, Bishop Godsey. If someone can do me a favor, if one of the moderators, can you go into Bishop Greg's live and ask him if he has a PayPal? Because some people have been asking about that. Again, folks, you're sending me messages on Messenger. I'm getting ready to turn it off. I don't care about the paranormal right now. The paranormal can wait. I'm here every Friday, and I'm here on Saturday. I talk paranormal all the time. There is a clergy member who needs help. I don't give a darn about the paranormal right now. That is secondary. So just hang tight, everybody. Don't be rude. I'm not talking. There's people on Messenger who are sending me private messages on Messenger. Please don't do that. So if one of the moderators can do that. Oh, he has sub only on. Okay. Yep. Probably because he's being harassed. Okay. I can have it. Okay. Well, so anyway, Robert the doll. I mean, it's serious stuff. So Robert, the movie, it doesn't look like that at all. Now there's another, the tomb of Tutankhamun. It's a 19-year-old Egyptian pharaoh. Is probably one of the most famous curses of all. King Tut's tomb was discovered by Howard Carter in 1922. It is said that anyone who dares to enter the tomb is struck with bad luck, or illness or death, because of something called the curse of the pharaohs. It is believed that the Howard Carter expedition was also struck by the curse, and almost everyone who was involved with the expedition died under mysterious circumstances. The first person to fall prey to the curse was Lord Carnarvon. That's a weird name. Anyway, he was a financial backer of the excavation team. He died within 4 months of being at the tomb, and due to a mosquito bite that became infected. Who knew? A mosquito bite. So anyway, other deaths that followed were that of radiologists who x-rayed King Tut's mummy and 10 other people who either committed suicide or were shot or poisoned within months of visiting the tomb. Whether the curse is true or just a mere coincidence, it is kind of difficult to explain a logical way, an explanation for all these people who've died. Thank you very much. So it is kind of crazy. Now, I personally, I think they should just leave these things alone. I think they leave these tombs alone. You know, it's just, I think that's so disrespectful. Personally, that's what I think it is. But, you know, here's another one. This is discovered in 1991 in the Otsal Alps of Italy, the mummy of Otzi. Also, he's known as the Iceman, is believed to be of a man who lived around 3000 BC. His body was preserved by a glacier that surrounded him after he died of exposure. But after he was unearthed, the people linked to his discovery began to die, often in violent accidents. All 7 deaths, including the forensic pathologist, Rainer Hien, who died in a horrific car accident en route to give a speech about the Iceman. A mountaineer, Kurt Fritz, who died in an avalanche, and hiker Helmut Simon, who discovered the Iceman during a hike with his wife and died after falling off from a dangerous hidden path. It can be linked to the Iceman, or rather the curse of the Iceman and its discovery. That's just crazy. That really is. That's crazy. Thank you. And here's another one. Listen to this. The Chair of Death. And again, I'm going to be showing you some items that I have collected through the years. I've taken these items from people's homes, and I'll tell you the backstory of that as well. The Chair of Death is another haunted or cursed item. This notorious chair, it's also known as Busby's stoop chair, once belonged to convicted murderer Thomas Busby. Before he was hanged for his crimes, his final request was to have a meal at his favorite local pub. However, upon finishing his meal, he stood up and proclaimed, "May sudden death come to anyone who dare sit on my chair." Since then, a supposed 63 people who have sat in the chair met their untimely death, sometimes mere moments after sitting in it. So when the number of deaths became too coincidental, the pub owner actually donated the chair to the Thirsk Museum in the UK in 1972. By the way, the chair is still there today, where it is, yes, it's hung 5 feet off the ground to prevent any more people sitting on the chair. And it's just a wooden chair. There's nothing special about this wooden chair. It's one of those old wooden chairs. Here's another one. The haunted wedding dress. In the mid-1800s, a young girl named Anna Baker, who came from a wealthy family, fell in love with a low-class iron worker. See, they planned a wedding for which she even bought a dress. But upon discovering about her relationship, her father forbid the wedding. And from that point on, she refused to marry anybody else and spent the rest of her life alone, bitter, angry, until her death in 1914. Well, the wedding dress has since been put on display in her old bedroom at the old Baker Mansion. It's often been observed moving by itself, which could be attributed to a draft or something, except for the fact that it's in an airtight glass case. Some believe that it is Anna's spirit inhabiting the dress, dancing her wedding dance that she never got to have while she was alive. Let me just take a quick picture of this. That way you can see it. So this is the dress that many people say that they have claimed that they've seen move on its own. That's the wedding dress right there. I'll let you guys see this on Clapper. And then here's on Facebook. You guys can't really see that, but there you go. Yeah, it's I mean, it's quite interesting, but it's such a shame that they refused to. But now I have seen this before, the cursed mirror of Myrtle's Plantation. So Myrtle's Plantation is believed to be one of the most haunted places in the world, but The most haunted item on the premises is a mirror that was added to the home in 1980. Legend, well, thank you. Legend claims that the mirror contains the spirit of Sarah Woodruff and her children, who were poisoned to death by a slave named Chloe on the premises. Now, whenever a family member dies, tradition dictates that you're supposed to cover all the mirrors in the house so that their spirits don't get lost or trapped. Poor Clark missed one mirror in the house, and it is said that the spirits of Sarah and her children got trapped there. Now, the guests at the plantation, which is now a popular bed and breakfast, have reported seeing figures lurking in the mirror and a child-sized handprint on the glass. Now, people ask me, do I believe that that the children and this family is trapped in the mirror? I do not. And I do not believe that because I simply don't believe God would allow that. I just simply don't think so. I think now a mirror could certainly be a portal, just like anything else could be a portal. Any item that I use could be a portal. But matter of fact, they used to do what's called a black mirror, which they would put a red candle right in front of it. This was in the 1890s when spiritualism was huge. And so they would put like a red or black candle in front of this mirror. It's a black mirror. And they would light the candle and they would summon spirits. And allegedly they would see these figures. And but this is what it looks like. This is the mirror in the Myrtle's plantation. It's a beautiful mirror. But now the guide that I spoke to when I went there once, they said that many times they have had children's handprint on it. There it is. And you're not allowed to touch that mirror. So it's interesting. But when I went there, I didn't see any handprints or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. Here's another one called The Crying Boy. Many of you probably have seen this picture online before. I'll take the picture so you guys can see it. Let me take a picture of it. There we go. It's a painting. And so here it is. For those of you who don't know, there's a little picture. Okay. There you go. And there you go. So the story with this particular, it's called The Crying Boy. And it was a painting that was produced by an artist named Giovanni Bergolin. It's the 1950s. It quickly became very famous, rather infamous. Over the years, the painting became very popular and thus mass-produced and hung in many homes across Britain. However, it soon became widely reported that many of these homes mysteriously caught fire, with many of them burning to the ground, which, by the way, I have an item that I'm going to talk about in a second. But as creepy as that is, the most disturbing thing is that in many of these homes, the painting of the Crying Boy was discovered absolutely untouched by the raging flames. Now, some regard these fires as pure coincidences. Okay, but the undamaged paintings have not been explained even to this day. It is fascinating because you can say, yep, fires happen. But yet, you have this thing. So, I had to, right now I had to turn off only subscribers only because the trolls were just getting just vicious, just vile. And so I just like, you know what, right now we'll just do this. We'll just do subscription only. And then I'll turn it back on for everybody 8 o'clock. And hopefully, because right when we started, we only had 2 moderators and they were slammed. But anyway, we'll try it. We'll try it at 8 o'clock. Now, the next one. Now, folks, look, the Dybbuk box. Okay. There's a lot of confusion about the Dybbuk box. The Dybbuk box is technically a wine box. That's all it is. I mean, it's just there's a lot of theories out there and belief that it's evil and all this other stuff. Okay. Well, in 2001, a man named Kevin Mannis purchased a wine cabinet that was auctioned. Again, that's what it is on eBay. And immediately started having terrible nightmares, as did the people around him. Now, he decided to give the cabinet to his mother, who then suffered a stroke the very day she received it. Each owner since then has reported horrible events upon coming into possession of the cabinet. Now, its last owner Jason Haxton developed a strange skin disease among other medical conditions. The origins of the box were traced back to a Holocaust survivor. It's believed, allegedly, to be possessed by a Dybbuk, a restless, a usually malicious spirit in Jewish mythology, believed to be able to haunt and possess the living. That's what a Dybbuk is. Upon learning this, Haxton, with the help of local rabbis, decided to hide the box from the rest of the world so that it couldn't do any more damage. But its legend lives on. And of course, Zach has one. I actually have one as well. What's that? The opening ceremony of what? We can have Bishop James do the opening ceremony. What are we talking about there? Opening ceremony. Yeah, Zach has one. I have a Dybbuk box, but a lot of people talk about having a Dybbuk box, but it's just. So anyway, well, thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry that it's called a Dybbuk. It's a D. For those of you who want to know, it's a DYBBUK. Yeah, and I apologize that I have to turn the subscribers on, but really, people were just being really nasty in the beginning. They were just and the poor moderators, they were just slammed. So I had to say nope. Okay, here's one that you guys may not know. James Dean Carr. I'm not going to say the name of the nickname of it, but anyway, actor James Dean loved his 1955 Porsche Spyder. He had it extensively customized and affectionately called it the little, B word. Apparently, the car was transparently evil. That Sir Alec Guinness, when meeting Dean for lunch, claimed if you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week. That's kind of crazy. Well, guess what? Dean was. But the curse did not stop there. When mechanics tried to repair the wrecked car, it fell on one of them, crushing both its legs. The car's new owner sold the engine and drivetrain into two racers. One lost control, hit a tree, died instantly. The other was injured when his car locked up and rolled over. The two thieves who tried to take pieces of the car were both injured. The car was then donated to a safety exhibit of the California Highway Patrol. The first exhibit caught fire and the car fell on a student, at the second breaking his hip. It even managed to crush and kill a truck driver who was transporting it. By the way, the car has since disappeared. So there are pieces that allegedly people say that they have, but we simply don't know. We just don't know. And it's kind of crazy. Yeah, James Dean Carr. Now this one here, there's the last one as far as the famous one. Then we'll talk about some of my items that I have. The Hope Diamond. In the Black Orlo. So the Hope Diamond. No, we're talking about the Titanic. Arguably the most famous and most cursed precious gemstone in history. Now get this, for those of you who like diamonds, this 45.52 carat diamond sparkler, can you imagine it, 45, has a long and storied past. Well, the Hope Diamond has been blamed for a laundry list of tragedies, including but not limited to beatings, stabbings, murder, insanity, and suicide. In fact, King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette owned the fancy blue diamond during the French Revolution and their beheadings. So the last person to privately own the diamond is an American socialite named Evelyn McLean. Had her daughter die of an overdose, and her son die in a car crash, and her husband leave her for another woman. So the trustees of her estate sold the Hope Diamond to Harry Winston, who eventually, by the way, donated it to the Smithsonian. It remains there to this very day. So you can actually look it up, but you can view the Hope Diamond's rare, deep blue coloring whenever you'd like. That's and it's a beautiful diamond. But here's another one. This is a 67 black carat diamond. Can you? It's a beautiful necklace. Beautiful. It's a 67 carat black diamond called the Black Orlov. Let me see if I can take a picture of that. That way you guys can see it. Okay. There we go. I'll send you the first one. Well, you'll see is the smaller one, smaller one. But you know what I mean. The one diamond that is 45 carat is there on your right here. And of course, the black Orvo, the 67, is right here, the necklace. So I'll let you guys see that. So that is, well, it's not really going to be good. Anyway, that's, yeah, when you're holding up a picture like this, it doesn't really look that good. But there you go. That's as good as a picture. So this one actually is, the necklace is called, it's a 67.50 black carat diamond. It's called the Black Orlov, ORLOV. It's also known as the Eye of Brahma diamond. So if you want to look that up, Brahma, BRAHMA. This is because the stone is rumored to have been stolen from an ancient statue of the Hindu god Brahma. Now, as is the story with many cursed diamonds, the theft is what began the Black Orlov's curse. In 1932, a diamond dealer took the Black Orlov to New York City to try and find a buyer. Who can afford a 67 black diamond? I mean, come on. Anyway, he wanted to find a buyer for the famous stone. He killed himself by jumping from a skyscraper just a few months later. Now, similarly, Princess Nadia Orlov, another one of the diamond's namesakes, killed herself by jumping off a building while in possession of the diamond. So nowadays, the Black Orlov is the center stone of a diamond pendant. And the diamonds dealer who owns it swears the curse is officially broken. I'm just, man, that is crazy. And you can check that out. Is the Black Orlov, black in the ORLOV, also known as the Eye of Brahma diamond. Yeah, I agree, same as the Pope's Exorcist movie. I was really disappointed with it too. I didn't mind. I liked it. I liked the beginning and middle, but then the end just got stupid. The end just got like, oh, come on. Why would you ruin that? So, oh, he only has a Venom and Cash App. Okay. Thank you very much, Jax. So Bishop Godsey, who does need help financially to take care of some of his medicines, only has Venmo and Cash App. So if you can help, even if it's $5, whatever you can help with, he will greatly appreciate. And he really is. He's an appreciative guy. So please consider that if you can. And if you want to help out, you can just go to his Cash App and just type in Bishop Godsey, GODSEY, all one word. It's the $ Bishop Godsey. Okay. And so, yeah, the links are in his bio too. Thank you very much. Yeah. Again, if we can help out, that's great. That's what this is all about. That is what this is all about. Helping one another, regardless of your faith, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of your gender, regardless of your age, race, it doesn't matter. You're a human being who needs assistance. We are our brothers and sisters' keeper. And so we got to help one another. We just have to in the best way that we can. Thank you very much. So by the way, let's start looking at a couple of things that I want to share with you on some haunted items that I've collected. Now, people ask me, why do you do this? Why would you do that? Well, okay, I'm clergy. And what happens is people will buy these items, they become almost obsessed with them, and then they have very violent activity that occurs in their home, and then they want to destroy it. And I tell them, do not destroy it. So I take the item, I then seal the items with a blessing, and I teach the individuals how they can do the epiphany of the doors and bless their house. If it becomes very violent, then they may require a minor rite of exorcism. And so I've done that as well. So, and I teach people about this. And I let them know, hey, look, this stuff is not imagination. This stuff does exist. It is real. So, okay. So let's get into this. For those of you who, first of all, I want to share this. This is not haunted, but I just want to share kind of tell a story about this because this is pretty cool. For those of you who like Halloween, the Halloween movies, the original one, 1978 movie, well, I had the opportunity to buy a prop. And this was really, really cool. This is actually one of the pumpkins that they actually used on the set. They used several. This one actually has a crack on it because it's old. So I've got to be very, very careful. And they have here, and of course it has underneath it, it shows the prop number and certificate of authenticity, all this other stuff. But anyway, this is the 1978, one of the 1978. Isn't that pretty cool? So for those of you who like the Halloween movies, I just wanted to kind of to share and tell or whatever. But this is actually, you'll see that in the opening scene. It's from the Halloween 1. And I've got to be very careful with it because obviously it's a collectible. Okay. Now, I had a show when I talked about this sucker. And first of all, there are no batteries just in case. I don't know if he's going to do his talking, but there are no batteries in this sucker. Last time, what happened is I was on live on a TikTok. This was a while ago, and this is one of the Teddy Ruxpins, the original ones, the older ones. And a family actually bought this for their child. They just thought it would be cute to have it, and they kept hearing a noise, and the dad woke up, and he went to the baby's the crib, and this Teddy Ruxpin was talking, and he didn't really think anything of it. And then he was thinking about, well, okay, man, maybe I should just kind of go back to bed or what. And then he realized, oh, that's a problem, because he had forgotten he didn't put batteries in this. He had no batteries, none. And this thing was talking on its own. So sometimes it'll do it, sometimes it won't. But the last time I had this thing on, or I had him on, he started talking, and there were no batteries in this thing. So because it takes 3 batteries. But he just started talking. And so that's him. That's the Teddy Ruxpin. So we'll put Teddy Ruxpin, kind of, this is a tight squeeze over here. We'll put Teddy Ruxpin over here. He starts talking, I'll bring him up. Hopefully he doesn't. I blessed him again because I just, I don't like that. But anyway, it's one of those things I want to share with these things for you. Here's also something I want to share this as well. A family went to Nolans, good old Nolans, New Orleans, and they found these skull. I don't know. Some people are they just liked it. They found it for a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, 2 little skulls. Well, let me get it. So the husband broke. The skull broke because it was actually thrown across the room. But they found these things in New Orleans, and this was the wife. It has a little bonnet or something, a little ribbon here on the top. But anyway, there's a husband. There's a man, and he has a little bow tie on it. But they bought this, the pair, and they put it on the mantle on their fireplace, and they kept hearing like noises. It was almost like someone was hurt, like someone had been hurt. They described it like someone had been like a moaning kind of a thing. And they would hear things stomp. They had upstairs and downstairs, and they would hear something like, it sounds like the people were stomping like a herd. They said a herd of elephants, and they lived alone. And so they went downstairs, and they saw the man, I guess, skull, our husband's skull, and they literally saw it was flicked across the room, and it shattered, and it's easily broken, but they absolutely saw like someone had taken it and just flicked it right off the fireplace. And of course this remained, and they asked me, of course, we don't want it, and so I said yep, and so I took it. And I had ultimately on that house, I had to perform the minor rite of exorcism because it became very, very violent in that home. And they began having some major issues. Yeah. It's, I mean, it's a, I don't know what exactly it's made of, but it's easily, you can break it. I mean, if you threw it on the ground or something like that, it would shatter. So yeah, it's kind of creepy, but it doesn't say that there's nothing on the bottom of it. But they bought it in New Orleans, and they thought it was really really cool. And they liked collecting these things, and they had some activity in their home because of it. Okay, this one wasn't violent. This did not cause any type of violence in their home, but the family liked collecting these type of old dolls, and they bought it for their son. And let me just put. Okay, there we go. And they brought it home, and their little son, I can't remember, I think maybe 2 or 3. But anyway, he was. It was late at night, and they would hear. They thought he got out of his crib and he was running, and so they went into his crib and he was sound asleep. And they only had one child, but they would hear laughter, and like a little pitter patter of a child running, and they would hear laughter, a little boy's laughter. But the boy was in the room, and he was sleeping. Yeah, ceramic. And so they said that's it. That they didn't like it, and the activity occurred right after. But here it is. This is and this is ceramic as well. But there are no markings on this. And so I was trying to see if there's anything here, and there's not. I looked at even. I got to be careful because it's old. But they bought this home, and so that didn't require the minor rite of exorcism, which was interesting in that place. I taught them how to do the epiphany of the doors and do several other little blessings, and they were able to do that. And then the activity stopped, and they got rid of the doll. They just didn't like the fact that there was this pitter patter of kids running around, and a little boy laughing when their son was in the crib. So yeah, this is I can see here. So I'll just put this here, and again, I don't know how those of you who are looking at, sometimes people can get a feeling of it, and but anyway, I guess this is like an 1890s clothing or something like this, but it's interesting doll, but it didn't frighten them necessarily as far as the activity, but they just didn't like again a little boy, in their house. Okay. Now, I got a lot of stuff here, so I want to share as much as I can. This, when I performed the minor rite of exorcism on a home with my team, I had this. Now, many people would say, "Well, that's a beautiful, it's a beautiful crucifix," and it is. Actually, it's technically a sick call. When you go to someone's home and you perform the either last rites or extreme unction, it's a blessing. If when someone is sick, then what happens is you can take this off and you can put it here on the stand. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Now, they have the original candles in here. This is very old. They have the original candles because it comes with 2 candles, which has never been lit. So, and these 2 candles, basically what they do is one goes here and one goes here. But I don't want to use these candles because it's original. So what I did is I got tea light candles. And the tea light candles were very, very obviously small. I mean, they're just like right here, and they were raised here. Well, I was doing the minor rite of exorcism on a home that truly had a demonic infestation. I mean, it was violent. And I put this on here, and then I had my little tea light candles right there, right here and right here. Back up so you guys can see it. So I had one here and here. And then what I did is I began praying as I normally do with the minor rite of exorcism, no big deal. And I turned around while I was, looking at a particular doorway that I was going to do the epiphany of the doors on. And then someone screamed, "Bishop, turn around, the cross." There we go. I accidentally pushed mute. They said, Bishop, turn around. The cross is on fire. So what you can see here, this actually burnt. It caught fire, and it caught deep. It all the way through the porcelain. So you can see it was all the way through it. And again, this tea light was here. It was just, the tea light was just simple. It was just a simple tea light right there. And, the flame of a tea light maybe goes maybe here. It was like a flame torch. The flame went all the way here, and it was like a torch. And now that I could not explain away. That obviously that was demonic. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because it was like, have you ever seen one of those flame torches, those that you can buy online or at the store? They have them now. You can light a cigarette or something or whatever. And they're pretty long torches. It was like that. Again, this tea light, that is a long distance, and this flame went all the way up, and it hit this, and caught it on fire. So, and of course, I was upset because this is an old sick call, because they're very hard to find these things here with this on it, but because it's original. And of course, the candles are original, and it also has the vial, the holy water vial. So all this is original. So I was very, very, very upset. And there's even a little card, a sick call that you use, that you pray. But I was very upset because it ruined it. But yeah, this was completely destroyed it. And of course, I continued the minor rite of exorcism, and rightfully so. But yeah, this was an older one that they really made me mad. This next one, I've talked about this before, and I tell people all the time: stay away from the Gates of Hell Cemetery. Now, I've told people this, and people still go to it. For those of you who don't know, the Gates of Hell Cemetery, I'm going to go ahead and turn the comments on for everybody on TikTok. And if it gets silly again, I'll just do sub only. It's pretty simple. So let me just turn it on. That way, because I did say that I was going to do that earlier. So I'm a man of my word. So there we go. And we'll open it up for everybody. And then if it gets silly, I'll just simply do subs only. It's pretty simple. Okay. So for those of you, no, it's not in Kansas. I've been to Kansas, but no, this was in Kentucky. This is called the Gates of Hell Cemetery in Kentucky. So I've talked about this. I showed the teddy bear. I've talked about this before many times. It was, I guess, 15, 17 years ago, something of this nature. A family asked us to go and bless this cemetery because a lot of satanic rituals are performed there. And no one heard of it. No one even knew it existed. In the paranormal community, I've been with the paranormal community for a long time. And I've said this before as well. I was with the paranormal community when Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff didn't even exist. We communicated through Yahoo groups. That's how we communicated, GeoCities. And so people were asking, the family members were saying, can you please go to the cemetery? And we had no idea what the cemetery even was. It's an old abandoned cemetery in the state of Kentucky. And so we said, well, what's going on? So a lot of satanic rituals are being performed there, and it's no longer being used. So I said, yes, I'll go there and I'll bless the area. And we went there, and we also did a brief investigation. And let me tell you something. When I tell you all hell broke loose, I'm telling you all hell broke loose. We captured crazy stuff there. And that was in 2003 when online radio was in its infancy. I was a part of a network, and we went on the next day, and I said, man, this is like the Gates of Hell. And that is how, in the state of Kentucky, this place got its name, the Gates of Hell. No one even knew the Gates of Hell existed in the paranormal community because it was an old abandoned cemetery, and it's out of your way. So let me just, I'm going to share something with you. Yep. For those of you who have never heard this before, I'm going to share with you an EVP that I caught at the Gates of Hell Cemetery. Is there anyone here?
Are you friendly?
Let me tell you something. When I tell you that it is the gates of hell makes I've said this, makes Bobby Mackey's look like Disney World. That is dangerous, dangerous stuff. Do not go to the gates of hell. Do not go. Yeah. I just did that. As a matter of fact, I am going to be doing a soon. As soon as I get my Jeep fixed, Matt, if you're watching, as soon as Matt can get that Jeep fixed, I need to get to the gates of hell because I'm going to be doing a show. I'm going to put it together like a presentation, a show, and I'm going to be airing it, the whole episode on my YouTube channel. I think it's youtube.com/C/Bishop James Long, all one word. So, that's pretty terrible stuff. So here's what they did. In the back, there's one way in and one way out. It's an old path, dirt path. And there's a fence, like a horseshoe fence around it. And there's trees everywhere. And like I said, it's an old abandoned cemetery. And a lot of people have gone there and just destroyed. It's terrible. Destroyed the grave sites, the gravestones. It's just terrible what they've done. I just don't understand. But in the very back, there's this old dead tree. And in this dead tree is where some people decided that they thought it would be cute to put up a altar to Satan. So don't tell me that Satanists don't worship Satan. That's a lie. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. And I don't know if I can find it, but in the back in the very, very back of the cemetery, they had this altar and they had animals that they had sacrificed. And I went there one time when I've been there many times, and they had this altar and they had like a skull, I guess, in the middle of their little altar with, hold on one second. Let's see if I can find it for you guys. I can't promise you that I can. Yeah, I appreciate that someone just donated to Cash App. Thank you for doing that. But if you guys could not, I just got a notice that someone donated to Cash App, and thank you. But if you guys can donate rather to me than to Bishop Godsey, I would. That would be very, very. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I don't know if I can find it because I don't want to sit here all day long looking for it because I have thousands and thousands of pictures because I'm working on cases, and some of these cases are just unbelievably violent. That's why I've got to get my car fixed because I am really behind on getting the cases. And so let's get Matt. Let's get on Matt. Come on, Matt. I need you to fix this car because we got to get this done. I don't know if I can find it. Well, I'm not going to sit here and go through it because I have thousands of pictures. It'll take forever. So I have a really old. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Jack. But I have an old beat up car right now where the engine light is on and all this. And there's no way that I would take that and travel even 2 or 3 hours. I don't trust it. I take it around town just to get groceries, but I don't even like doing that. But a buddy of mine, his name is Matt, and I'm got to get that car fixed. So hopefully he will do it soon this weekend so that I can do this ministry because I am really behind it. It's terrible. But so this is what I took from the altar, and they started a Satan club in an elementary school. Man. It was having some transmission issues. So Matt took it apart and we'll see. I'm going to send him another message and hopefully he'll get to it this weekend. But here, this is what I got from the Gates of Hell Cemetery. Now on this top, on the very, very top was a black candle. And there was actually, of course, blood on this altar where they had sacrificed an animal. I assume it was a cat. But that's what it looks like. Now, yes, you can buy these things online. That wasn't the issue. So you can buy that. But this is what they used. Absolutely, I did. A matter of fact, not only did I take something from the satanic altar at the gates of hell cemetery, I destroyed the altar at the gates of hell cemetery, because that to me is disgusting. There are family members, there are people that are buried there. And so anybody who, I don't, anybody who says that, oh, Satanists don't worship Satan. Okay. That's like saying a Christian doesn't worship Christ. That's not true. That people say, well, Satanist is like being an atheist. No, then call yourself an atheist. Don't sit there and tell me that you don't worship Satan when, by the way, there was a satanic convention in Boston and people were hailing Satan. So don't go there. Don't even try to, you're not, like I said, you can put, I've said this a million times, you can put makeup on a pig and call it a cow, but it's still a pig. So anyway, this is what they had. And I took it. And I share this with people. And when I do my presentations, I talk about that and what people have done. It's disgusting. It's just disturbing. I don't know why people do that. It's wrong. It's a desecration, and it's just stupid. Okay. One more thing that I want to share with you guys. John Wayne Gacy, you all know, was a serial killer. And obviously he was terrible what he did. Terrible. And he also painted. So when he was in prison, he would draw things and people would buy it. And that's how, quite honestly, that's how he was able to afford his defense team. Well, what people don't know, and many times what John Wayne Gacy would do is in his paintings, he would poke himself like a little pen and draw some small blood. And on the red, he would actually put some of his, it'd be cursed. And people now spend $10,000, $15,000 for these paintings. And believe it or not, they buy it. I'll get your question in just a second. So people buy these things. And what happened is family they just love that kind of stuff. And they began having some really violent activity in their home. They had a boy, a young boy. They moved. But he said that he kept seeing this black figure, this shadow figure, and it would just simply like laugh in his room. He kept hearing this like a laughter. I think he was 8 or 9. And he was terrified. He was very scared. And then the little boy would talk about how he would sometimes feel something touching his leg. And so nothing like that ever happened before until they bought these paintings. And so when they and some other things occurred, which we're not going to discuss that. But the family then contacted me and said, "Look, we need some help here." And I asked them what they did. They told me they bought these paintings. And so I went to their home. I performed the minor rite of exorcism, and I took the paintings away. So these are this painting here is, and I don't touch this because obviously I don't want to touch it. But this is it looks like a simple, I don't know, when you look at it, it's a cabin. There's the trees and there's the water. It's not really a big deal as far as when you see that. You think nothing special about that. Here is another picture, and these are originals. Here's a picture here of Christ. And here is John Wayne Gacy's signature. And these come with a certificate of authenticity. So this is John Wayne Gacy's original painting here of Christ. He drew a lot of these, and he sent it out to people, and they purchased them. The family had spent quite a bit for this one, and they really didn't. They didn't want it. Oddly enough, which is I understand, because the demonic can cause you to fall into temptation and almost like an obsession. But the family, even though their son was being harassed, they had a hard time letting go of this picture because it was expensive. he drew about, I think, 5,000 of these. And so the family said, we don't want these anymore. And this is a very famous, you probably know this, and this is the one that he used blood. Here's a signature. It has a certificate of authenticity. Yeah, I know. Yeah, if someone's asking questions on Messenger, I have studied Gacy extensively. I've had the opportunity to speak to people who actually met him, and I know pretty much everything you want to know about Gacy. I have studied on this man, primarily because of my interest in the perhaps of possession. But he would actually poke himself and use here, and then blend in his blood on this picture. So that is, pretty disturbing. Pretty disturbing. Now, I will not take this out of the case. This next one that I'm going to show you, this is the last one. I'm not going to take this out of the case because this is going to be on the show. That's all I can say. On the television show that I'll be appearing on June 1st, Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcists. It's going to be coming out on Travel Channel and Discovery Plus, I think, and some other networks. I think MGM and HBO. But it's called Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcists, and I'm a cast member. And basically, the show is that we have a cast of exorcists who come together, and we talk about our cases that we worked. And not only do we talk about it, but then the network actually recreated the cases that we had. And so I want to, this particular thing that I'm going to show you here in just a second, this was very upset. I got very upset about because the family actually had purchased this, and I'm not going to go into, I've talked about this before. But let's just say that I'm not going to go into details because they asked me not to, but they went through pure hell. I mean, I'm talking this required direct intervention. But I brought this item to me with Louisville Paranormal Mid-South Paranormal Conference in Louisville, Kentucky. And I had it right next to my computer. And I had been saving up for a long time for this computer because I needed to update it because mine was really old. And so I was doing a presentation on demonology, angelology. And what I did is I had this doll and I presented, people were saying, please take it out of the case. Please take it out of the case. And I told them, I really don't want to do that. I'm uncomfortable with it. And they were begging me to do it. So I did. And normally I never do that, but I did. And as I took it out of the case and I held it and I said, okay, you guys want it. No one wanted to touch it. No one even wanted anything to do with that item. Nothing. They wanted nothing to do with it. And they said, please put it back in the case. Please put it back in the case. So as I was turning around to put it back in its case, that was right next to my laptop, there was a firefighter in the front row. And someone asked me a question. And I put the doll by my computer. I didn't put it in the case because I got distracted because I was interested in turning around quickly and answer the question. So I put the doll by the computer and I turned around to talk and answer whatever question it was that they were asking. The firefighter said, Bishop Long, your laptop. I turned around. My laptop was on fire. It actually caught fire. You could see the smoke and fire from the laptop. Now, I have seen, I don't know why people don't get notification. I don't know. Facebook, I have no control. I don't know. I don't know why some of these are not getting notifications. I can't. But anyway, so the laptop caught fire, and this was the entire. I still have the laptop, and but I have the doll, and yeah, how do you explain that to Best Buy? Isn't that the truth? So I'm going to show you this doll. Now, here's the deal. With this doll, you can actually I can hear. Well, I can say this because I've said it before. I've talked about this before. A family bought it, and the whole entire house burnt down. Whole house burnt down. There was nothing left. Nothing. The only thing that remained was that doll on that steel cabinet. That was it. This was a big, big home, and everything was everything burnt down. Nothing was left. The doll was there. It was sitting on that metal bookshelf thing. Now, you can still smell the fire from this doll. This is a porcelain doll. And the only damage I see really that you have there is the smell of fire. You can smell that on the clothes, and you can see the burn stains on it. So let me share it. Hold on. I gotta get it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take it out, but I'm not going to put it near anything. So I'll go ahead and I'll take it out, but I'm not going to put it near my computers or anything like that because I don't want the darn thing catch fire. But this is the doll. This is going to be on the show, and you're going to see this on June 1st. I don't know when they're going to air that actual episode, but I can still smell the fire. I can still smell it. If you smell it, I can still. This is a porcelain. They bought this. They didn't think any of that. They become almost obsessed with it. So I'm being very careful because I don't want, it ruined an $800 laptop. But I had this. I took this on the plane. And of course, it was in the case. It was in everything. So I had it protected because I went to Los Angeles and I filmed. And we were late because the pilot came on and said, folks, we really don't understand. There was one of the light things in there in the cockpit kept burning out. And the captain said, I've been flying for over 35 years and this bulb never goes out. It burnt out 3 times. 3 times. And 3 times we had to wait because it kept burning out. And finally, I took the doll out. I blessed it again. I sealed it again. And then I placed it in its container again. And we were able to go. So this is, this is serious stuff. And you can see the burnt marks here on the doll itself. Here and back here. But this is all that remains actually of the doll itself as far as the destruction. And this is porcelain. This is porcelain. Yeah, even holding it, it's very uncomfortable. It's a very, very uncomfortable. It really is uncomfortable. So this actually caught my laptop on fire. It caught it on fire. So that was a pretty intense. Why would I keep it? Because I teach people about this. I teach people that this stuff is dangerous. And because I go in paranormal conferences, I don't do a lot. But when I teach about demonology and angelology and possession, I show these items. And I say, this is what you're dealing with because there's so many people who are buying these things. And they're finding themselves in some serious trouble. I have blessed oil. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I put it back in its case so it's completely secure. Okay. The last thing that I want to share with you is this is a brand new item that someone sent me. You wouldn't think there's nothing special about this. But a family had purchased this item, and I believe it was they purchased it at some estate or something like that at sale. And the reason is it's with blue and it has this tape in it. Is inside of this is a massive butcher knife. And so they bought this, I believe, at some estate sale or something, and a family member began having some very strange feelings and desires of hurting people. And this was a person that would never, ever hurt anybody, that loved his family. And he apparently got up one day and took this and threatened the life of one of his family members. And this was completely out of character for him to do this, totally out of character. And so they buried this. That's why you can see there's dirt. They buried it. I have not opened it, and I'm just not going to. But there is a knife, and it is a big butcher knife in here. And they sent me pictures of this prior to burying it, and I told them, do not do that. I said, you need to send this immediately to me, and then we'll deal with the issues there with your family member, which I did. So it's that was pretty intense. That was very intense. That the story was really, really violent. It was aggressive. They were terrified, and rightfully so. They said his eyes went solid black. Everything changed. His demeanor changed. Everything changed. And he was able to come out of this trance, if you will, and he realized what he was doing. And so that's when the family said, okay, we got to fix this right away. And so that's, the devil's going to get mad. The devil's mad because I perform exorcisms anyway. So that's, well, remember, it doesn't get possessed. Items don't get possessed. What happens is a demonic can attach itself to you. So let's say that perhaps maybe that knife was used in a murder. I just simply don't know. I don't know the history behind it. They don't know the history behind it, but they know that as soon as they brought it in, that his whole entire personality changed. Everything. It's Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcists. And it starts exorcism, get into the 21st century. Okay, well, God forbid if something ever happens to you, you'll be calling me. And then I'll say, welcome to the 21st century. So, no, I don't keep these in my house. As a matter of fact, when the show is over, I'm going to go to they go into a storage facility that I have. Well, then don't call me. Go away. I mean, what? Go away. I mean, bye. Jeez. Never call you. Okay. And you think that's going to hurt my feelings? Yeah, blocked. I mean, seriously, I just, these people are so narcissistic. I don't care. Well, then don't. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I have not seen Nefarious. But I do want to see that. I am definitely that's on top of the list because I want to see him. I know that guy. He was just one of those people. Yeah, I'm not going to call you. Oh, doggone! I'm going to have to talk to my therapist about that. That just breaks my heart. Now that's just one more person that I won't be able to drive to your house for absolutely free and not actually charge you and actually have to rent a car and get a hotel room. Oh, that's what I want. Oh, poor. Oh, narcissist. Okay. Seriously. So people are just like, go away. All right. No. The demonic don't possess objects. Demonics attach themselves to objects, and through enticing you through ordinary demonic activity, will then tempt you to buy this item, bring it home. That's the invitation. And once that invitation occurs, that's it. That's how it goes. Yeah, loving the snarky. Well, I mean, seriously, people just think that the world revolves around them, and I'm not going to call you. It's like, oh, please call me, please. If you don't call me, I don't know what I'm going to do for my. Yeah, okay. I only have. Let's see. I only have 8,122 people asking me for my help right now on my my. There you go, 8,000. For those of you who want to see it, 8,000. You can barely see it. 8,000 something. That's my ministry. That's how many people are asking me to come over to their home because they think they're possessed or they need the minor rite of exorcism. I have, good. I would just hate for the have to Anyway, how can you detach? Well, I always tell people that if you have an item in your home and that item you believe is causing problems, you need to send them to me. I will seal that, tell me the story so I can teach people about this stuff. And then I can teach you about how you can help as far as blessing your home. And if it requires the minor rite of exorcism, that's what I do. That is a very, very dangerous. Yeah. The African antique statues, as a matter of fact, here's these are not African, but these I bought got these from a family who actually purchased this. There's a couple of them, and they brought these as a man and a woman, and I have no idea even what this is. It's there's things on the back, symbols on the back, which I'm not going to show. I've been doing some research on it, and I kind of have an idea of what these things are. But anyway, so they bought these things, and activity started occurring in their home as well. I think it's plaster, but they bought this. They bought these things, and like I said, I'm not showing the symbols, but they bought these at an old store, and they claimed that they were seeing shadows, dark shadows in the mirror, that some shadow people were breathing on them. So yeah, they said nope. So there we go. Okay. Yeah, you got to stay away from that. Look, I'm not saying, let me just make this clear. Not all antiques have demonic attachment to it. They just don't. I love antiques are great. They're wonderful. But if you start finding yourself almost obsessed with it, that it gets to a point where you just simply cannot get it out of your mind, and it becomes an unhealthy obsession, then you really probably should take a step back and say, okay, what's going on here? So that's what you should do. Sometimes in some funeral pieces, can I just put holy water on it? No. If there's a demonic attachment, they need to be sealed. Yeah, they need to be removed, especially if you're having activity in the home. It has to. You have to. I'm not in Los Angeles. I filmed in Los Angeles, but I'm in good old Kentucky. So, that's a good question. Why the increase in demonic activity? What did demons say in regards to that? Well, I haven't interviewed a demonic entity about that, but I will tell you, I appreciate the question. I believe that there is an increase in demonic activity because there's so many people doing things that they shouldn't do. And a lot of people are getting back into Ouija boards. A lot of people are doing, especially there's a lot of paranormal investigating going on too, and that's fine. You don't burn them because that doesn't seal them. The problem with paranormal investigating is I tell people this is you don't know who you're speaking to, and I rely on paranormal investigators because I can't be in every state. So, if someone calls me, and I get so many people, well, you shouldn't do that. And then you go to that person's home in New York and then tell me I shouldn't do it. People are always go, you know what? People are just like, shut up. Anyway, so I rely on people who are seasoned investigators who don't think everything is demonic. And they go to people's homes, they never charge, and they investigate to determine if the claim is valid. It takes a lot of time. The equipment is not cheap. The equipment is not cheap, but these paranormal investigators are accused a lot by people who call themselves Christians, and they're accused of doing evil stuff. And yet these people who throw all these attacks on paranormal investigators, they're not getting their butts up at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, are they? No. They're not answering the phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're not getting in their car, traveling for 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours to somebody's home whom they don't even know, and then investigate. It takes hours and hours. They're not buying the equipment, are they? No. But what they are doing is offering criticism. And they're offering criticism because they are not the ones helping. You see, it's easy to criticize the people who are actually doing the work. And so paranormal investigators I work with that are true. I think they understand this as a ministry. They understand that they want to help people. They don't think everything is demons, and they want to try to debunk it. And I'm sick and tired of people who call themselves Christians attacking paranormal investigators, saying that they're doing the work of the devil. Shut up. Shut up. Then you go and answer the phone call, and you go to someone's home. When they're dealing with a true demonic activity and all hell is breaking loose in their family and their house, and they don't want to go back to their home, and yet paranormal investigators are willing to put themselves in danger to help this family whom they don't even know. And yet people throw all this shade and all these trolls, these disgusting, disturbing, mentally disturbed trolls who do nothing but throw criticism because they have no life and they're doing nothing good for anybody else except for bitching and complaining and whining and moaning and groaning. Grow up. It's just stupid. Or shut up. One or the other. Just shut up. Again, it's so easy to complain about people who are helping, but they don't help. They don't help at all, but they sure do complain about it. That's right. That's, what Tweety Bird said, that they don't, that people don't understand it until it happens to them. And that is true. And I agree with that, but yet they shouldn't attack the people who are actually trying to help others. That's why I tell people here, I'm not here to convince you that demons exist. I'm not here to convince you of that. I'm here to help the families who know they do. And people say exorcism, that's the 21st. You need to go into the 21st century. Fine. And you'll be the very first one to call me boo-hoo when something happens in your house. That's the God's honest truth. No, I don't like doing ministry work. Especially during an exorcism, when I perform an exorcism on someone, I perform 30. I will not go by myself. It's too dangerous. So I always have an assistant. We have either a team there as well, usually the team that investigates, and then we have someone who's trained medically. So because I'm not trained medically, so I can't. I mean, I don't know if the person is going to a stroke or heart attack or whatnot. So yeah, I have. Well, thank you very much. So I don't do that. It's very dangerous to do that. By the way, so for those of you who are asking about the Eli Roth, he's a cool guy. Eli Roth is a really cool guy. For those of you who don't know, this is from a website. I don't know who it is. Anyway, filmmaker Eli Roth returns with an all-new paranormal shows. It says fans of the paranormal United States can catch the premiere of acclaimed director Eli Roth's new series, Eli Roth Presents The Legion of Exorcists, on the Travel Channel, plus an all-new season of the returning series, Eli Roth Presents A Ghost Ruined My Life. So beginning June 1st, the brand new 6 episodes series, Eli Roth Presents The Legion of Exorcists, details terrifying stories of demonic possession, from cursed objects inflicting harm to complete human body takeovers. Fighting evil from the front lines is a legion of leading exorcists from around the country who use their faith to keep the devil at bay and restore peace to those caught in its grasp. It says these 6 spiritual warriors, which I'm one of the cast members, including a demonologist and various religious ministry leaders, come together for the first time to share their personal cases and intense experiences battling malevolent entities in the hopes of banishing them for good. Hosted by Eli Roth and coupled with cinematic recreations, each hour-long episode delves into the shocking stories about the power of true evil and what it takes to overcome it. I'm telling you, these are when I had the opportunity to sit and listen to the stories of the other exorcists and clergy. It was amazing to listen to their stories and see how similar they were. That's what was so interesting about it. These are people, except for one of them, that I've never talked to and never met. And we came together and shared. And I'm thinking, my gosh, all these, the different denominations, and we share our stories of what we've seen, and they're eerily similar, which I think is very interesting. So there he is. That's for those of you who want to know about the upcoming show. Okay. So let's see, we're going to go into another one. I want to share this with you when I saw this. For those of you who like the circus, well, if you're in Florida, then you're in business. There is a creepy circus, Paranormal Cirque, makes Central Florida tour stops. So if you're in Palm Bay, I think it's Ocala, and Daytona Beach, if you're in those areas, well, here we go, folks. This is by Brenda Arquetta. She's a digital, I think she's an artist here. It says here, this show is not for kids. Paranormal Cirque is back and making stops in Central Florida this week with a one-of-a-kind production featuring death-defying stunts, creepy creatures, and haunting performances. Now, it says prepare to witness zombies, vampires, and ghosts in aerial performances and more. The circus will be stopping at the following cities. In Palm Bay, May 4th through the 7th, going on right now. In Ocala, Ocala, May 11th through the 14th. And Daytona Beach, if you're in that area, May 18th through the 21st. It says, quote, we're excited to bring this unique and thrilling show to Palm Bay. Luisa Nelson, Cirque's Italia's marketing and public relations manager, said in news release, we've assembled an incredible cast of performers, and we can't wait to showcase their talents to our audiences. The show is perfect for anyone looking for a night of entertainment and scares. It says here, by the way, children ages 13 through 17 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian over 21 in order to get into the show. So you can just type in Paranormal Cirque, and then there you go. So stigmata is not considered a curse. There's a lot of people who think that stigmata is a curse, and it's not. Anyone who actually is has ever had a stigmata, they've never ever declared it to be a curse ever. So, well, there's a prayer that you have that what I pray when I'm doing the sealing, but I don't teach that to the general public, because then I'm very careful with what I teach online, because people who quite honestly, who have no training in demonology, then take this information and pretend to be demonologists, and then do very, very stupid things. And so I don't do that. I don't, I got to be very, very, especially with an exorcism. People say, well, how does an exorcism work? And what do you do? And how does it, I won't ever teach that public ever. Because there are people that are watching that try to cut corners, and they don't want to go through the training. They don't want to learn demonology and angelology, theology. And they want to cut the corners so they can become an exorcist and be famous in the paranormal. And I just don't do that. By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is by Pat Hill, a paranormal conference coming to Cripple Creek. Cripple Creek, this is in the Pikes Peak Courier. I'm trying to figure out, I think it's in Colorado. But the Pikes Peak Paranormal Conference is May 19th through the 21st at Cripple Creek Victor Junior High School. The conference will feature speakers, hands-on classes, evening outings for attendees. It all begins for a Friday day film fest on Friday as well. A meet and greet dinner. Saturday includes speakers and classes during the day, and 3 types of outings for participants to explore paranormal investigation, Bigfoot hunt, or a UFO skywatch. Sunday will conclude the conference with a town hall meeting and more speakers. Area 51 Marketplace will feature vendors offering a variety of goods, as well as a place to meet the speakers. While tickets are required for the outings, films, and speakers, the marketplace in the school cafeteria is free. So tickets can be purchased both at the door and on the day of the event on the website pikespeakparanormal.com. So Pikes Peak, Peak, paranormal.com. All right. It is a huge, there's conferences. I've been to many, many, many conferences through the years. I've been doing this for over 25 years. So I've been to many conferences, and, well, hello there. I appreciate you, Canine Outlaw. Appreciate you being here. Okay. People are asking questions. Yeah, there's several places you can go to that. There's several. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hold on one second. Yeah, there's a lot of places that are having that. So, okay. How did many jobs in Maryland? Have I done? I have not in Maryland. No, but I have actually in several other locations, but not in Maryland. I just, because I don't charge. and I never charge people for my ministry ever. And so, somebody say, is it healthy? Is it safe to go to these activities? I think, look, anytime you do paranormal investigation, you need to know, and this is what I've been talking about now. I've been teaching this for over 20 years. When you're going to paranormal investigation, there is an element of danger there, and you've got to be very, very careful. You need to understand the risk. And I think people need to start teaching more about there are dangers, there's elements of danger, paranormal investigating. Now, if you're going there to listen to the lectures and listen to the ufology and Bigfoot and the teams who are talking about their experiences, I see nothing wrong with that at all. But once you start investigating the paranormal, then you could put yourself in some serious trouble. You got to be careful. You got to be careful about that. And people don't talk about that very much, and I think there needs to be more discussion about that. Well, the danger is you can have a demonic attachment. Once you go to a location that's haunted, and once you say, "Is there anyone here? Can you make a noise? Can you push me? Can you say something?" That's the invitation. That's the invitation the demonic need to attach itself to you. And you have to be very, very careful because, and I tell paranormal investigators, you got to be careful with this. I love the Bigfoot because I think Bigfoot's so interesting. I really do. To me, it's kind of like, I don't know. Let me ask you about this one. I don't know about this, guys. I don't know about this one. This is by Liz Dowell. Now, here. Tell me if you would do this. A Missouri morgue now is a paranormal Airbnb destination. You heard me right, folks. I don't know about this one now. It's a Missouri morgue is now a paranormal Airbnb destination. So this is Liz Dowell. She says, if the walls of the historic morgue could talk, they would tell a building that housed the dead and the living. To this day, people are still laid to rest here. On the front porch of the property, there are two church doors and a single door that served as the entrance to the morgue during the early 1900s. This meant that bodies were prepared on one side, while on the other side housed the church, separated by solid oak garage doors. Now, the building had been vacant before Alta Bevins purchased it, having previously served as a Christian County museum for 3 decades. The history of ownership and the exact year of the construction remain unknown. Says we don't know what year it was built. The cornerstone has an 1800 date on it. The steeple was thought to have been taken down in 1906. Said Alta Bevins, owner of the historic morgue. So I don't know. Says here if it was the Ozark Undertaking Company or an embalming company or funeral home, a church, and a morgue starting in the early 1900s. So the morgue had been on sale for a long time. She did not originally want to buy it, but decided to go with her mom and visit the property anyway. She said it was a volunteer-run museum, so it needed quite a lot of love, said Bevins. And another thing I heard was that it was going to be a parking lot for the square. Said I did not have the money, but I had the passion for the history. I put in the offer, bought it, and then I thought, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Says it was only after the closing, when she walked the property with a listing agent, that she learned about the building's past as a funeral home. So she took on the project and opened up her antique shop called Church Street Antiques and More. Now, Bevins said in 2019, they had a fundraiser, live music, a buffet bar, and it was all donation only. They raised over $10,000 for local families and needs in 2019. And then she said COVID 2020 happened. The historic morgue was turned into a place to stay overnight to generate income for the property, allowing visitors to experience the unique history of the building. Says we've had 3 paranormal investigations, and in all 3 of them, the teams have had a lot of success with communication. So the historic morgue is an intriguing destination for those interested in the paranormal, with guests sharing their experiences on Airbnb and YouTube. The owners have even captured eerie footage of shadows moving across the room. I just don't know about this one. This is a little creepy. I mean, I don't know. Okay, my gosh, it's already getting time to wrap things up. For those of you on Spreaker, I'm going to have to wrap this up for you. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you tonight at 10 p.m. for our night prayer. Yeah, it just flew by. My goodness gravy. Okay. I do appreciate everybody being here. I really do. Hopefully you've enjoyed the presentation. So let me close this out. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, KGRADB. I'm going to have to say goodnight to you guys because we have another show coming up on the top of the hour on KGRADB. So For those of you who are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else, hold on, I'm not leaving TikTok. Remember, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless, and don't let the trolls convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, God bless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about open mic night. The Secret Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.